Okay, and we're back, everybody. And today we're going to be going over my Cash Gang Round 1 game in the ORAS Cup. So if you don't know what Cash Gang is, it's a draft league tournament. It's similar to the OU Circuit Tournament, where there are individual smaller tours, such as the OU Fall Seasonal or the OU Spring Seasonal or whatever, and then if you do well enough in those, you acquire a certain amount of points, and then if you acquire enough points, you make it to the playoffs. So it's similar to that in the sense that in Cash Gang, there are 3 cups. There's the ORAS Cup, the SM Cup, and the Sword Shield Cup. And the top 16 players that have the most points at the end of all of those 3 cups move on to the Cash Gang playoffs. And that's obviously the goal. We're going to try and get to Cash Gang playoffs. And this is the first cup, the ORAS Cup. Basically, everyone drafts a team. They play against other people who drafted the team, and you try to win. And if you win, you move on to the next round. If you lose, you're eliminated, and you don't get points anymore. So this is round 1, of course, like I said. So real quickly, I guess we can go over what I drafted. So I drafted this weird variant of Stall. It's Clefable, Cresselia, Mandibus, Togekiss, Slowbro, Zoroark, Mega Steelix, and Dugtrio. If I'm being completely honest, I really didn't know what I was doing in ORAS. I didn't really play ORAS that much, so I just kind of went with something that resembles a Stall team. I got Clefable because that's just good on all variants of Stall, so it was a pretty safe pick. And then I got a bunch of other fat stuff, and then 2 Trappers. I got Zoroark and Dugtrio, even though Dugtrio in ORAS only has base 80 attack. It's not that great. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what happens with this team. So in round 1, I got matched up with Datboy69, and he has a pretty interesting team. So he has Alakazam, Skarmory, Rotom Wash, Gengar, Darmanitan, Umbreon, Ditto, and Maytang. So what do I think about this team? It's pretty solid, honestly. He has double special breakers in Alakazam and Gengar, and then he has a physical breaker in Darmanitan. Those are the really only 3 things that I have to worry about. Because the other team, the other members of the team, I think I can just stall out very well because of my defensive natured team. So I have to find a way to mitigate Alakazam, or Mega Alakazam, Gengar, and Darmanitan. So for Mega Alakazam and Gengar, I do have the Pursuit Trapping capabilities with the Zoroark, so I'm just gonna Choice Scarf Zoroark and try to trap those 2. For Darmanitan, like you see here, we have the Slowbro, which pretty much hard walls the Darmanitan, so I'm able to just bring in my Slowbro every time and force it to take some sort of chip if I bring Rocky Helmet. So yeah, other than that, the only other real weakness to my team is that it's very trickable. So he has a Rotom Wash, as you see here, and everything on my team is trickable except for Zoroark, Steelix, and Dugtrio. And unfortunately, all 3 of those things died to a Hydro Pump. So obviously, you don't want to bring in Zoroark, Steelix, or Dugtrio on the Rotom Wash. So basically, I'm going to have to let something get tricked. But I do have a clever idea for the trick Rotom Wash that you'll see later on. Anyway, aside from that, really, no real threat. I guess Ditto could be annoying. Has a source of infinite PP if he brings a Stall-ish variant rather than a balance variant. So yeah, I guess we can go over the team I brought. I brought Zoroark, like I said. I wanted to Pursuit Trap the 2 main special breakers in the Mega Alakazam and Gengar, and then I wanted Slowbro as well, like I said, just to force some sort of chip consistently on the Darmanitan, because even if he U-turns, he'll be taking Rocky Helmet chip, and if he gets low enough, I can eventually Pursuit Trap that as well with my Zoroark. So that's the goal. Just trap his breakers and then win with Stall. So yeah, both of these sets are kind of standard. It just has Flamethrower as last move on Zoroark because I wanted to be able to hit Skarmory in the case I needed to. Realistically, U-turn, Pursuit, and Knockoff are the only things I'm actually clicking, but Flamethrower is just nice in case I want to hit Skarmory for whatever reason. As for Slowbro, it's fairly standard against Scald, Toxic, Slack Off, very standard max defense. Psychic is just a move that makes sure that Gengar cannot come in freely on the Slowbro. Obviously, it probably doesn't want to come in freely on the Slowbro because it does have access to the stab Psychic, but you never know. Anyway, next up we have Clefable, and this is the anti-trick tech that I have. So I have Sticky Barb Trick of my own. So basically what this does is that if he wants to trick me, not only does he take Sticky Barb damage, so it's actually bad for him to trick my Clefable, it also allows me to trick the Choice Scarf back to another member of my opponent's team. So what that, in essence, allows me to do is punish the trick on Rotom and then punish a defensive member of my opponent's team by crippling them by tricking the Choice Scarf back. So this has a couple of other useful things that I can do. It's my rocker, obviously, which is also cool. And then it's just very specially defensive because in the case that it's not Trick, Rotom Wash, I still need something to switch in to the Rotom Wash, and especially defensive Clefable does that fairly well. So that's what this is for. So, next up we have Mandibuzz, just max Spadef. It's my defogger on this team, as well as my switch into his main 2 special breakers in Gengar and the Alakazam. It's able to pivot on them fairly well. Obviously, it cannot take the Dazzling Gleam from Mega Alakazam too well, or the Thunderbolts from Gengar, so not super amazing, but it does work. It obviously makes sure that I can switch into the Alakazam and Gengar stabs, so that's what this does, and then I can pivot from there with U-turn. Next we have Togekiss. This is just a Heal Bell mon on the team. I really don't have another use for this Pokemon other than to Heal Bell off the rest of my team in the event that he does want to bring a stall-ish team rather than a balanced build, so that's what this is for. Of course, I made it max Fizdef because, again, I don't really need it to do anything on the especially defensive side, so I just made it max Fizdef in case I needed to Heal Bell on the Darmanitan or something. So yeah, that's what this is for. Next we have this Cresselia. Obviously, this looks very bad, and it is very bad. Basically, I was very confident with the 5 Pokemon in Zoroark, Slowbro, Clefable, Mandibuzz, and Togekiss being able to take on the entirety of my opponent's team. And Cresselia was just like an anti-stall measure. It has enough special defense and defense to make sure my substitutes don't break to a defensive Rotom Wash's Hydro Pump or a Foul Play from the Umbreon. So if you wanted to bring something like Mega Alakazam, Skarmory, Rotom Wash, Umbreon, Ditto, and like, I don't know, Maytang or something, then obviously I can just sub up on everything, charge beam up to like +6, and then eventually break everything down with the Signal Beam. So that's basically what this is for. It should be pretty bad in the event that he doesn't bring stall, but in the case that he does, this should just auto win. So I was fairly confident to just throw this on his last mon in the event that I did have to play a stall-ish team. So yeah, I guess we can just get into the battle now. Okay, so I lead Slowbro, he leads Skarmory. I'm just going to click Scald here, just to make sure that, you know, look for a Scald burn. Basically, burns in ORAS are very cool because they do 12% chip instead of the regular 6. That's awesome. Next up, he goes into Ditto. I predicted that switch. Well, kind of. I predicted the switch into Rotom Wash on that turn, and I just clicked Toxic. Obviously, toxing the Ditto also works. It's totally fine there. So I got the Toxic off in Ditto, and then I go hard into Clefable because I know that Ditto, which is a Slowbro, cannot touch my Clefable because I know the set. So he clicks Toxic, obviously, or Magic Guard doesn't do anything. I click Rocks here as he goes Rotom. So here's where the tech comes in. He clicks Trick. Not knowing what I am, obviously. He didn't see leftovers or anything because no damage has occurred on my Clefable, so he just clicks Trick, and he gets the Sticky Barb, and I just click Moonblast. So after this turn, he lost 50% of his HP, and I have a trick available to trick the Choice Scarf back onto something else later on in the game. So I click Moonblast a couple more times, which is because they're just fairly free. Then I go Slowbro on the Skarmory's Roost, and then I click Scald a couple times just to see what he wants to do. He clicks Iron Head for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, but it is what it is. I click Scald, still no burn. The Skarmory, you'll see later on in the game, is also very immune to burn. He roosts, I click Scald, and still no burn, unfortunately. It is what it is. But finally, we do manage to get a Scald burn on the Rotom. I don't think this one actually mattered too much because he would have taken Sticky Barb, and then if he Volt Switch, he dies to the Rocks upon switching the next time. Or if he stayed in, he would have died to the Sticky Barb. So all I had to do, if he didn't get burned on this turn, was just go hard into Clefable. So luckily we do get the burn though, and he just drops on that turn, which is cool. He goes Gengar, and like I said, my Mandibuzz is my primary switching, so I'm going to go into Mandibuzz as he clicks Shadow Ball, which is great. I can just roost up here pretty freely. As he goes Ditto, he sees that my moveset, but it's whatever. I'm actually just free to click Defog here, I think. As he goes Darmanitan, he reveals to take Rocks damage, I guess, so that's cool. I click Defog on that turn and go for Togekiss just to gauge damage to see if he was Choice Banded or anything. That U-turn did not look like Choice Banded damage, so next time I'm actually free to go into my Slowbro instead of going into Togekiss because U-turn won't do any damage, so that's cool. As he U-turns on into Gengar, and once again, I just go hard Mandibuzz. As you see here, his Sludge Wave not doing any damage. I just roost up. As he goes to Alakazam for some reason. Here, obviously, I can just U-turn very freely. He clicks Sub there, not entirely sure why, but I U-turn. And here's an interesting thing that happened. So, it looked to him like I brought out my Cresselia, but to me, I know that it's actually my Zoroark. And why is that important? Well, it's important because I can click Pursuit here. It has a 93% chance to kill, I believe. It's basically a 6.3% chance that it doesn't kill. So it's like a very low percentage chance that I don't kill this this Alakazam with Pursuit here. So I click Pursuit, and even if it doesn't kill here, I know that he's gonna either want to click Taunt, Substitute, or Shadow Ball. Because if he clicks Dazzling Gleam or like Focus Blast versus a regular Cresselia, he would just get Thunder Wave for no reason. So I very much doubt he would click any of those moves. So we click Pursuit, and he lives on 1, which is unfortunate. But as you see here, he clicks Substitute, and that doesn't work. So I'm able to trap it and get rid of the Alakazam the following turn. Next, he goes into Ditto for some reason. Again, I'm not entirely sure why. Because, well, Imposter doesn't work against a Illusioned Zoroark, so I'm able to just Pursuit this twice and basically remove this Ditto from the game as well, which is very nice for me. Yeah, that's just very cool. He goes into Darmanitan, I go Hard Slowbro. He clicks Toxic, and yeah, that's a pretty good play, but it is what it is. Next, he clicks U-Turn, so I know he's not Choice Scarf now, which is pretty good information. Because that means that after one more Rocky Helmet turn, I believe I can just Pursue Trap it with my Zoroark, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, he clicked U-Turn there, and he goes into Skarmory as I click Scald. And, yeah, still no burn. This Skarmory is immune to burn. Anyway, he roosts up, and I believe I click Flamethrower here. And, yeah, Flamethrower there, but still no burn. Obviously, with Serene Grace, Flamethrower has a 20% chance to burn, but no burn. It is what it is. He clicked Iron Head, doing no damage, which is cool. I click Flamethrower again, I believe, here. Yep, that's exactly what happens. And, you know, he brings in Darmanitan, which is fine, but I know that he's not Choice Banded, so I know that any move he clicks will not kill me. So I'm actually able to freely just click Heal Bell, get rid of the Toxic on the Slowbro, and the Toxic on Clefable. Obviously that one doesn't matter, but it is what it is. Next up, I go into Slowbro to take any hit he wants to click, and now he's in range of Pursuit from my Zoroark because he clicked U-Turn again. So that's great. Anyway, after this, I just click Scald here, I think. Yep. Still no burn. The Skarmory is just very immune to burn here. I go Clefable, and here I make a misplay. I'm supposed to click Trick here because I have my Mandibuzz at 100% HP, so even if he goes into Gengar tricking, the Gengar isn't that big of a deal because I can just go Mandibuzz the following turn. However, I decided just to click Stealth Arc. I don't know why really, but it was a bad play. Anyway, I'm able to go into Cresselia here, and finally this garbage set actually managed to do something because obviously we know all 4 of his moves, and we know none of it is Whirlwind, so I'm able to sub up very freely here as he just gets up his rocks, and now I can Charge Beam a couple times. And yeah, we Charge Beam the Darmanitan, and obviously going to U-Turn out to break my sub, bring in his Gengar as he takes another Charge Beam here. We do 23%, not that big of a deal. Basically, all this Cresselia needs to do is force Shadow Ball, so that even if it is a Choice Scarf Gengar, the Shadow Ball doesn't kill my Zoroark, and I can just Pursue Trap it freely. So I click Charge Beam one more time just to get whatever damage off, and make sure that he clicked Shadow Ball. He clicked Shadow Ball one last time, and yeah, now I can just go into my quote-unquote Clefable. It's actually just my Zoroark that clicks Pursuit here, as you see. Gets rid of the Gengar. He goes into Darmanitan, but like I said, I know that it's not Choice Scarf because he clicked Toxic into U-Turn on the Slowbro, so we're able to actually just get rid of the Darmanitan as well with Pursuit, and now this game is pretty much over because we can just go Slowbro, click Slack off one time just to make sure that we don't lose, or we have no chance of losing at all, and then we can just spam some Scalds. As you see here, I'm going to click Slack off. And yeah, now I just click Scald a couple times and that ends the game. And I think finally here we actually get the burn. Yep, we get the burn here finally on the Skarmory, which is very nice. And that's awesome. He clicks Iron Head, he flinches us, so he actually dies to the Rocky Helmet and not my Scald, which is whatever, but you know. So we do get the win there. We get the round 1 of Cash Gang ORAS Cup in the bag, and hopefully we can get a couple more wins, but like I said, I'm not very hopeful with this team. It's very meme-ish, so, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, hope this was enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Bye.